you will be familiar with the story that is, it's in a lot of the press today. It's front page news in some of the newspapers. And I have to say it is one of the most sensitive, emotive, tragic topics that I personally have ever discussed. So today, 3 children are waking up without their mummy at home. Their mum is in prison, having been sentenced yesterday to serve 28 months. Her crime? To have an abortion. Almost instantly, the outrage has begun. The Women's Equality Party, for example, demanding action and taking to the streets to create it. Politicians speaking out, and some even choosing to use the situation to try and gain votes for themselves at the next election. They speak of archaic laws, 1861, in case you're wondering, and the anger is palpable. Now, let me be clear, and I know that some of you will fundamentally disagree with me, as is your right, but I am unapologetically pro-choice. I believe that a woman should be able to make decisions about her own childbearing, and anyone that's ever been in that position of being pregnant and having the absolute trauma of needing to decide whether to progress or not will know it can be absolutely soul-destroying. It can be one of the hardest decisions any woman will ever have to make. But, and there is a monumental but, there is a clear law in this country, and that is clear, that unless in very extreme health-related circumstances, the legal limit for an abortion is 24 weeks. In the case of the lady who has just been jailed, which crucially happened during lockdown, she chose to push her decision beyond the 24 weeks. Having made that decision, she lied and she told abortion services that she was just 7 weeks pregnant. In reality, she was then about 30 weeks. Of course, they then sent the medication, as was the laws then. It was allowed. She took the medication and delivered her stillborn child soon afterwards. That child was then found to be between 32 and 34 weeks gestation. She said not guilty to the offence of child destruction, and instead it was her legal team who suggested a move to the law of 1861, which she eventually pleaded guilty to. Now, taking into account the delayed guilty plea, the judge then had no chance, basically, no choice but to impose a prison sentence, which leads us back to the tragic situation I outlined at the start, 3 children now without their mummy. Now, I feel desperately sorry for the lady involved. I feel desperately sorry for her children, and there are no winners here at all, none. But to all of those that right now today are running around demanding that laws are changed, I ask you this. Do you really want it to be legal for a woman to terminate her pregnancy with no limits? Until when? What? The second she gives birth? The moment she gives birth? The day before? When? For what? Your reason? My choice? My body? My choice? Because I will admit that even though, yes, I am pro-choice, surely there has to be limits. Having no limits at all fills me with dread.